Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. How much more money are you prepared to spend on an automatic movement over a quartz movement? That is the question, that is the sub-theme today running through this review of the Straton competition driver. It's a really interesting question, I think, and one that I've touched on a couple of times in previous reviews so far this year. I'm seeing an increasing number of brands, both big and small, releasing the same watch but with two different movements, one quartz, one auto, at often two very, very different price points. For example, the Tissot PRX that I looked at a couple of weeks ago, $375 USD with quartz. They've just announced an auto, exactly double that, $750 US. The John Robert Archetype I looked at a couple of months ago, they were asking $350 USD for the quartz, more than double, $799 for the auto equivalent model. This Straton, $329 for the Seiko VK64 Mecha quartz powered version. ETA 2894-2, $999, more than 3 times the price. Now, I'm not suggesting the auto is a rip-off and you shouldn't buy it, far from it. I spoke to Kyle, the brand owner. He assured me that he pays more than $500 for this automatic movement. That's before you start adding the case, the bracelet, the sapphire crystal, the manufacturing and profit, of course, on top of that. Autochronos are expensive. Not only are they expensive, they are also less reliable, less rugged, and cost a damn sight more to service than the equivalent mecha quartz does. So how can we possibly justify it? Interesting questions, and I'm looking forward to reading your answers in the comment section. Now, you saw the pop-up, I'm sure. This video is sponsored by Straton. I have 4 watches to show you, 4 different colours. They are all prototypes. When the production run is complete in June, they will be sending me one mecha quartz in the colour of my choosing. I choose purple. Let's flip the camera and have a look at them. Yeah, definitely purple for me. Straton have stuck resolutely to their mandate of resurrecting old 70s style racing chronographs, and I reckon that means 70s colours are the go. So purple, mustard, orange, I'm all over those. There are, of course, slightly more sensible options. There's a panda, there's a grey, there's a green, there's a blue, if that's your bag. Now, like I said, I got sent 4 to review, 2 mecha quartz and 2 automatics. But which are which? Chronographs, not so easy to spot quartz because they often have a small ticking second hand. This VK64 Mecha Quartz movement, I mentioned that in the intro, doesn't have a second hand at all. The 2 on the left therefore are quartz. It's a 24-hour indicator at the 3 o'clock rather than a second hand. I've only seen one of these VK64s once before on a Nezumi chronograph a couple of years ago. As long as you're comfortable with the fact that you don't have a ticking second hand on the watch, it's kind of covert quartz, it's quartz in disguise. Even when you activate the chrono pusher, the chrono ticks 5 times per second, so you barely know it's a quartz even when it's in operation. He also sent me one of these new travel rolls. These are available for purchase from the Straton website. They hold 3 of your Stratons or whatever else you choose to put on it in a lovely, glorious 1970s orange colour. However, this is the standard packaging. This is what you'll get if you order one of these competition drivers. Little travel pouchy here, also in slightly 70s brown with a 2-year warranty and the watch. So it's a full size, I guess you could call that a kind of TV style case chronograph. All dimensions are identical across both models apart from one. So 42 millimeters in diameter. It's only 13 millimeters thick though, and a super compact 45 lug to lug, 22 millimeter lug width. Bit of taper on this 7-link Jubilee, down to 20, back up to 21.5 at the clasp. Now it's sized up for me, 180 grams from the auto, 170 grams for the mecha quartz. Those movements do tend to be a little bit less complex and a little bit lighter therefore. So 316L stainless steel case, full stainless steel bracelet here with solid end links. Now these are just push pins, but it is a proper milled clasp, double security foldovers, and a bunch of micro adjust little chamfered edge there, 5 micro adjust holes. Flat sapphire crystal with anti-reflective undercoating and an all brushed, radially brushed case. Again, very in keeping with the style of watch and the era. Now, Straton branded crown, 2 unbranded high polished pushers there at the 2 and the 4. The crown is screw down, so you get 100 meters of water resistance and a screw down crown, which is the kind of forget about it level. Not normally expected from chronographs of this style, but in combination with the full stainless steel bracelet, it does mean that this does have a bit of that go anywhere, do anything capability. 7-link Jubilee bracelet. I'm not sure I've come across one of these before, quite unusual. That means you get 3 high polish links and 4 brush links, and it is a fitted end-link bracelet. I've talked about the class before, you do get Straton branding etched into that fold over. And that's the case back, same on both models. This one has the word meca Q etched into it, whereas the Auto has ETA 2894-2 etched in its place. And I believe that is Kyle, the brand owner's car. He is an occasional competition driver and he has a race-prepared vintage Alfa Romeo GTV, and I reckon that is it. Well, I guess there's loving your car, and there's loving your car so much that you put it on one of your casebacks. Maybe if I start my own watch brand, I should put my car on the caseback as well. So if you haven't encountered one of these meca quartz movements before, they are hybrid mechanical quartz. So it's a quartz movement with a battery powering the watch with a mechanical module powering the chronograph on top. So you get the accuracy of a quartz, stated tolerances of this one, plus to minus 20 seconds per month, and you get the what looks like a mechanical ticking of that chrono hand. So it's a 60-minute chrono timer. Timer subdial there at the 9 o'clock. It runs once and then it will stop, so you can't get that hand ticking for more than 1 hour at a time, so you can't really use it as a pseudo second hand. Well, you can, but only for hours. 1 push of the top pusher to start, 1 push of the top pusher to stop, and 1 push of the bottom pusher to reset. Looks for all the world like a mechanical though, doesn't it? The ETA powered Auto has the same rough dial layout, but that is a small second hand at the 3 o'clock and a 30-minute chrono timer at the 9 with the date down there at the 6. Again, 1 push to start, 1 push to stop, 1 push to reset. So what do you get if you pay the extra for the Auto? Well, you get a top grade version of the 2894-2, 37 joule hacking and hand winding high beat, so 28,800 vibrations per hour. These things are adjusted from the factory to 5 positions and have stated tolerances of plus to minus 15 seconds per day. No issues with this one though, running pretty much spot on, plus 2 seconds per day, 0 beat error, nice fresh movement on the flat on its back default position. But let's go back to look at the dial and hands. I've always appreciated how Straton don't over-clutter the dials with lines of text. I guess chronos, less is more in terms of text and branding. So just the single Straton applied S in high polished silver under the index at 12 and competition driver printed above the date frame at 6. We have little miniature fence post applied indexes all the way around. The rest of the dial is just printed and it's flat. There are no recesses. The 2 subdials sit flat on the dial. I also like that alternating checkerboard minute marker around the outer edges, and of course a tachymeter Untitled Chapter ring on all of these models. The handset's pretty simple, just flat, high polished silver hour and minute hand, and that orange chrono hand matching those 2 subdial hands as well. One thing that isn't matched though is the date wheel. I would have loved to have seen them do a colour match date wheel. That may well feature in the Moans and Niggles section later on. And the loom on these models, considering they're prototypes, is actually quite decent. I like what they've done here. They've extended the loom all the way down the centre of the hour hand and the minute hand, making it far more noticeable than it was on previous Straton models. I've got a Special in my collection. The loom was anything but Special. These are a distinct improvement. And it wears nicely as well. I got a bit of a surprise when I measured the lug to lug and it was only 45. I was expecting it to be a bit longer than that given the size of the watch, but I guess that comes with the kind of square case shape. Do note that those mid links of the end links do extend that a little bit, but they also point down. No problems at all fitting my 7-inch wrist anyway, and it sits entirely flush. That's one of the reasons why Kyle went for the 2894 as opposed to the Valjoux 7750. It would have been up at 16mm thick rather than 13. Having said that, it's still a fairly decent size watch at 180 grams. I tend to wear this size of watch, this weight of watch anyway, tight and above the knuckle. 5 micro adjust means you can do that. And that's the overhead shot with the green meca quartz model. I guess legibility is going to vary a little bit on these depending on which of the colours you're interested in. All silver hands, maybe the silver on the grey would probably be the most legible, but this one not too bad. They do catch the light nicely, those high polished hands. And that's the same when you get this one outside into some natural light as well, and there looks like a reasonable amount of anti-reflective coating on the underside of that flat sapphire crystal. Bit of a wrist roll outside as well. You can see the light play off that 7-link Jubilee bracelet, and if I show you what it looks like down the wrist, you can see they've undercut that case for extra comfort, and there's just a tiny little bit of downturn as it approaches the lugs. Pocket shot to finish, yes, that is a jumper, but I am still wearing shorts. I'm hanging on to the shorts. We're heading into mid-autumn here in Sydney, so another couple of weeks I'll be in jeans, more's the pity. Moans and niggles, what am I going to complain about today? And then let's talk a bit more about this quartz versus auto and the price disparity between the two. One niggle common to both models, and I actually spoke to Kyle about this, is the bracelet clasp is sharp. That is a sharp end. It's one of those ones you need to get your thumb underneath it, but when you get your thumb underneath it, it digs right into your cuticle. He says that this is going to be refined for production units though. And similarly, this end link has been designed for the watch, but it doesn't fit it 100% perfectly. There's a little bit of end link overhang in one direction and a little bit of case overhang in the other direction. So I think that could be doing with a bit of a tweak for production units also. And I mentioned the colour match date wheel or lack thereof. I think a date wheel matching the dial on these would have taken this design to the next level. White is legible, but it would look so much cooler, especially in purple and mustard, if the date wheel matched the dial. I guess that would have been prohibitively expensive though on a $329 watch, but maybe that's something you would have expected on a $999 watch. Similarly, push pin bracelet. No problems at $329, not that great at $999. And again, this is something I've talked about in previous videos. You're paying an awful lot for that movement because that movement costs an awful lot. But it's the same dial, it's the same hands, it's the same case, it's the same bracelet, etc, etc. Things that I can forgive at $329 become a little bit less forgivable at $999. For me at least then, the Meca Quartz is the clear winner today. I reckon at $329, this one is a bit of a deal. You get all of that Straton 70s look, but at a very reasonable price tag. You also get a Seiko VK movement with a 3-year battery life that is always going to be set to the right time, sitting in your watch box, ready for you when you choose to wear it. The way my collection is at the moment, I am reluctant to add more autos. I'm happy to add the occasional quartz piece though, because I'm just sick of winding watches and setting dates every day. But what about you? Which would you go for? I suspect it's not really a fiscal issue for a lot of people. It is just a dividing line, quartz or auto. Some people are just not interested in quartz, no matter how good the equation is. The price saving it represents over the automatic just doesn't matter. It's auto or nothing. Like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do these two watches overlap? Are they fighting for the same market share, or are they going for two totally different types of people with two totally different buying habits? I'm really interested to find out. So there you have it, the Straton competition driver. It seems that regardless of my personal opinion, people are prepared to pay a considerable premium to buy an automatic chronograph as opposed to a meca quartz chronograph, judging by the fact that most of the colorways, if not all, most of the colorways of this one are sold out or nearly sold out already. Look, the auto is a good watch. If you're an auto only type of guy or girl, then go for it. You won't be disappointed, and I love the new colors. I think Straton pushing the boundaries of their color envelope, and they're just about there. The purple, the mustard, the orange, all absolutely fantastic if you ask me. Also, if you ask me though, I would be going for the meca quartz, particularly as it is a covert quartz. No tick in secondhand, you don't know it's a quartz unless you really, really look hard. Plus $329, $999, that is a massive chunk of money that could be spent on just one more watch. Thank you for watching. I will see you all in a future video.